1. Nth contact. We tend to act as if normalcy were the baseline, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Normalcy is a teetering spire, towering precariously over the roiling sea of random nonsense that is baseline reality. Deviance is not comparable to some cancerous growth on the otherwise smooth righteousness of God's bald skull, but rather a return to the static of colorless infinity. This is why normalcy is so aggressive towards anything that strays too far into the fringes of its hazy scope. It's not really aggression at all, it's a perfectly organic defensive strategy. But that can be a difficult philosophy to humble oneself before when you happen to exist at those hazy fringes. Errol Ritter is a man with a rusty beard and a woolen cap who goes by the handle Dyson Cold on the message boards. He's known as one of the more mainstream UFO theorists in those cozy fringe corners, and as more and more of a crackpot the higher up the internet's primary normalcy spire you climb. He's been arguing for the past few days with some normie who can't accept that aliens could ever breed with humans. You'd have more luck trying to mate a human with a tree than with something from another planet. It's a compatibility issue, Voltron of Theseus, the normie, comments. You're ignoring the fundamental idea behind my argument, Dyson Cold insists. It's not a compatibility issue if you consider the obvious truth of panspermia. Panspermia is what this guy calls his sock drawer, says Extraterrestrials, another commenter. Calling something an obvious truth is the definition of pseudoscience, types Voltron of Theseus. But even if we take panspermia as a given, we still can't breed with our own closest relatives, chimps and bonobos, because of differences in our chromosomes. How the hell do you expect something separated by billions of years of evolution to even come close to being compatible? An interloper, homosexual Varels, chimes in. Seriously, what is even happening in this thread? Cold probably breeds with his closest relatives just fine, says Extraterrestrials. Seeing this gross deviation into the more toxic reaches of those hazy fringes, the rest of the community dutifully downvotes Extra to oblivion, and they are not heard from again. I see where you're confused, says Dyson Cold with tremendous patience. The Zeta Reticulans aren't only separated from us by billions of years of biological evolution, but up to, if not more than, 1,000,000 years of cultural and technological evolution. They would easily be able to overcome biological barriers. There isn't a response from Voltron of Theseus for a few hours. When it does come, it's a surrendering whatever, dude. It's pretty standard for people who act that way when bested. This character shows grace, and Errol looks forward to any future interactions they might have. For now, he bows out of the discourse himself. It's kind of a weird position he finds himself in concerning the aforementioned topic of hybridization. He can't be 100% certain, of course, but he's collected enough data to reason out the shape of this hidden truth that surrounds him. The predicament is finding a way to prove what he already knows. It's the kind of predicament the whole ufologist community finds itself in these days. You have to wonder whether anyone would believe it even if a gray landed in broad daylight in front of everyone tomorrow. He gets a packet of noodles from the cupboard and starts to boil some water. His stepsister, Patricia, wanders in from the other room to request a bowl for herself. She's a potato of a person, only slightly more homely than Errol himself, with obscenely thick eyeglasses and bright tangerine-tipped acrylics at the ends of her fingers. The kind of person who, if she has to be judged by her appearance, she's going to do it on her terms, not God's. Errol gets another packet of noodles and tears it open. Just as he's about to toss it in the cauldron with his own, she grabs his wrist. "You have to be kidding me, Harry," she harps. "What?" She stares at him through ludicrously magnified eyes, fully expecting him to read her mind. He slowly starts to lower the wafer of noodles into the pot. She flares her nostrils. He remembers now that she prefers her noodles broken up before cooking, but her behavior has irritated him. The noodles descend into the roiling water with a dull plop. "Asshole," she says. "I still don't know what you're on about," he teases. She shakes her head and leaves the kitchen. She will forget about her arbitrary preferences and eat the noodles just fine, smothered in barbecue sauce like she always does. Errol will have his with melted cheese, and they'll watch TV until one of them becomes too engrossed in a show the other can't stand. They aren't related by blood, but they grew up in this house together, and Errol figures she's about as much of a sister as he could have. The clock rolls around to 4, and Errol retreats once again into his cave. Every time he walks in the door, he notices the smell, but it goes away quick. He wakes up the computer screen by jostling the mouse. No new notifications, save for one about an update for his favorite first-person shooter. He spends the rest of the afternoon setting zombies on fire. It's that time of year when the days are getting longer. The darker hours come later every night, but he continues to meet them consistently with his telescope and cameras. He only has this one little slice of the vastness of the universe that he's able to survey, and even he doesn't believe he'll ever capture anything at this point, but after so many years, it's transcended beyond duty into something like a sacred ritual. A form of meditation. Once all the lights are blinking and the digital reels are spinning, he dozes off to sleep. In his dreams, he witnesses the mothership of the Zeta Reticulans, an imposing behemoth of angular shapes and stony shades of navy and deep red. It's all but invisible against the blackness of space. It stands silent and majestic in the shadow of a pale moon. It's not just any moon either. It's Luna, immediately recognizable to the depths of genetic memory in Errol's human mind. They're here. The ship approaches him, or he approaches it. Out here in space, relativity dictates that both things are equally true. There are no portholes to see inside, but Errol can feel the beings within as they go about their alien business. There is a presence to them. Like the gravitational pull of the massive ship itself, each of their minds exists with a potency comparable even to the celestial body the ship is parked behind, far beyond the dim twinkles of the ape-men of Errol's home planet. He can feel them perceiving him. No, it's more than that. He can feel them knowing him. They possess compound senses honed over millions of years of sapient evolution. An ability to predict this encounter that is so accurate as to override the need to physically witness his approach. When they direct their attentions to his presence, the impact is so powerful as to reduce him to a subatomic particle in comparison. Like a puny electron being shoved aside by a beam of light, sent to probe its temporary position, he is hurled in a spiraling arc until he finds himself nestled among the warm embrace of 1,000 curious alien minds. They whisper to him all at once. It is overwhelming. Questions built upon ontological foundations which his species has not yet dreamed of constructing ring like bells inside his feeble brain. They discuss this tiny creature. He is like an ant to them, and it is only by the grace of the unforgiving cosmos that they don't treat him like one. They recognize the spark of intelligence in these humans. More than that, they recognize it in this particular human. A strange wave rolls through the perfectly efficient communication these beings share among themselves. He can't quite grasp the whole of the rapidly shifting concepts that are rolling past his mind, but some ideas find purchase among his hyper-attentive neurons. This one is different, they seem to be saying. Almost as if the connection between him and them is more than a simple convergence. Gradually, other ripples form within the network, though, and the waves dislodge him from it. He is sent spiraling away from the ship the way he came, out, around, and away from the moon, and back into the stronger pull of his homeworld. The feeling of cosmic truth dissipates as if it had been nothing more than water on his skin, and he is back in his bed.